So no offense. What about me? Right, just be honest with me because I need to be able to treat your kids.
We're gonna get up, okay? Stand up. Sit down. Sit up, come on. All right, thank you.
Imagine this. It's the morning after what should have been the sweetest celebration. A little girl's 5th birthday, filled with cake, laughter, and the chaotic joy only a child can summon. But instead of waking to the patter of tiny feet and the smell of pancakes, a stranger hears a faint, desperate cry echoing from a ramshackle trailer in the middle of nowhere. Ow, help! It's a sound that slices through the pre-dawn chill like a knife, pulling you from sleep, heart pounding, because deep down, you know, some tragedies don't announce themselves with fanfare. They creep in quietly, laced with the everyday poisons we ignore. This is the story of Zakylinn, a name that should have been sung in songs, not whispered in courtrooms. And it starts not with screams, but with a silence that swallowed a family whole. The date was March 10th, 2024, in the dusty fringes of Grant County, New Mexico, a place where the horizon stretches endlessly and help feels a lifetime away. Thaddeus Hawkins, a 34-year-old drifter with calloused hands and a makeshift home in the bed of his pickup truck, stirred under his threadbare blanket. He'd crashed on the property the night before, just feet from the family's tiny home. A trailer so cluttered with trash it looked like a hoarder's fever dream. Music Padilla, 32, her boyfriend Matthew Blee, 33, and their 2 kids, 7-year-old Isaiah and 5-year-old Zakylinn, lived there in a haze of survival. Music, with her wild spirit and a name straight out of a folk song, courtesy of her long-haired, freaky parents, dreamed of better days. Matthew, a quiet musician type, strummed his guitar when the world wasn't weighing too heavy. But dreams don't pay bills, and reality had them scraping by in this forgotten corner of the desert. Thaddeus rubbed his eyes, chalking the noise up to kids roughhousing. But the cry came again, raw, pleading like a wounded animal. He bolted from the truck, boots crunching on gravel, heart slamming against his ribs. The trailer door hung ajar, a sliver of dim light spilling out like an invitation to hell. He pushed it open, and the stench hit him first. Rotting food, unwashed clothes, the metallic tang of neglect. Then he saw them, sprawled across a sagging mattress in the trailer's single, suffocating room. Music and Matthew, limbs tangled like broken dolls, their faces slack and pale. Between them, half buried under their weight, was Zakylinn, tiny, unnaturally still, her birthday dress from the day before rumpled and stained with what looked like chocolate frosting. Isaiah sat slumped in a rickety chair nearby, eyes glassy, barely stirring. Panic clawed at Thaddeus's throat. Music? Matt? What the hell? Music's eyes fluttered open, unfocused, her voice a slurred whisper. Everything's fine. No need for help. But it wasn't fine. Zakylinn's skin was ice cold, her chest eerily motionless. Thaddeus fumbled for his phone, dialing 911 with shaking fingers. Grant County 911, what's the address of the emergency? The dispatcher's comm cut through the chaos like a lifeline. 97 Quail Run. I don't know what happened. I'm staying with friends. They're not right. The little girl, she's not responsive. The parents are in and out. There's a 7-year-old boy, mostly okay, but God, I heard yelling. Ow, help! As sirens wailed in the distance. Too far, always too far in this godforsaken stretch. Thaddeus tried to rouse them. He lifted Matthew's arm. It flopped like wet spaghetti. Music mumbled incoherently, her body rigid yet floppy, as if her muscles had forgotten how to obey. Isaiah whimpered, "Mommy," but couldn't stand. And Zakylinn, she didn't stir at all. Thaddeus's mind raced. Drugs? Food gone bad? Something worse? He'd shared campfires with this family, heard music's tales of better times, watched the kids chase stray dogs under the stars. They weren't saints. Hell, no one out here was, but this was a nightmare uncoiling in slow motion. Deputy Javier Orozco arrived first, his cruiser kicking up dust clouds that choked the dawn. He stepped inside, flashlight cutting through the gloom, and gagged at the odor, a cocktail of decay and something sharper, acrid, like burnt metal. The trailer was a tomb of clutter, piles of garbage knee-high, empty cans glinting like accusations. In the corner, a metal tub caught his eye, ashes cold and gray, as if someone had tried to summon warmth from scraps of wood and coal. Orozco knelt by the mattress. "What's going on? You guys on anything?" Matthew groaned. "No, just stiff. Really stiff." Music echoed. "I can't sit up. It's excruciating." Their words slurred, eyes darting like trapped animals. Isaiah managed a weak nod, but Zakylinn lay there, a fragile ghost under their oblivious weight. "Move! Get up now!" Orozco's voice cracked with urgency. He hauled Matthew to his feet. The man wobbled, legs buckling like a newborn foal. Music clawed at the air, her body betraying her every command. As they staggered out, Orozco turned to the girl. No breath, no pulse. He started CPR, compressions echoing like gunshots in the tiny space, but her ribs felt like brittle twigs under his palms. "Hang on, kiddo," he muttered, sweat stinging his eyes. Outside, paramedics swarmed, oxygen masks hissing, but it was too late. Zakylinn was gone, stolen not by a monster in the shadows, but by something invisible, insidious, lurking in the air they all breathed. The scene was pandemonium wrapped in disbelief. Music and Matthew, cuffed for their own safety, babbled nonsense to the deputies. "We just fell asleep hard, really stiff. No recollection of the night before. No clue their daughter had slipped away inches from their faces." Isaiah, whisked to the hospital, could barely press weight on his legs, his little frame trembling from dehydration. He hadn't eaten since Friday, 2 days of celebration in a home barren of basics. Thaddeus, the unlikely hero, paced the gravel, replaying the horror. "I didn't even see her at first. They were on top of her, like she was invisible." At the hospital, music's fog began to lift, but so did the lies. Under fluorescent lights that buzzed like angry hornets, she spun a web of half-truths to the nurse. "It was the chocolate cake from Albertsons for her birthday. We ate a slice before bed." But earlier, in a rare moment of candor, she'd confessed to deputies. "Me and Matt smoked meth yesterday. It's regular, but nothing like this. I've done a lot of drugs in my life. Never felt anything like last night." Meth explained the haze, the paranoia, but not the paralysis, the collective collapse. Their bodies weren't just high. They were poisoned, robbed of will and motion. And the boy, same symptoms, legs useless, as if the earth had pulled the strength from them all. Detectives swarmed the trailer like ghosts at a wake, cataloging every clue. The tub of ashes whispered secrets, wood scraps, cold chunks, improvised heat for a propane tank long run dry. No vents, no cracks for air to escape. The trailer, sealed tight against the desert night, had become a gas chamber. Carbon monoxide, silent, scentless killer, seeping from those coals, binding to their blood, starving cells of oxygen. Headaches morphing to dizziness, confusion to coma. A birthday party turned funeral pyre, all because warmth came at a deadly cost. Back at the station, the interviews cracked open the family's fragile facade. Music, still woozy in a paper gown, clutched at excuses. "Diabetes? Seizure? I had a bike accident years ago, but my kids? We were at the park all day. No drugs there." Her voice trembled, eyes pleading for belief, but the stumbles betrayed her. The meth binge on Zakylinn's big day, the filth that starved Isaiah, the neglect that let coals smolder unchecked. Matthew, quieter, shattered when a detective finally dropped the bomb. "The little girl's gone." His face crumpled, a dam breaking. "She was talking when we woke her. Wasn't she?" Denial twisted into grief, but too late to rewrite the night. Thaddeus faced the hot seat next, rights red like a dirge. "I heard the kids outside, then the yell. Busted in, saw 'em all down. Music on the bed. Half on Zakylinn. Called 911 cause. What else?" He downplayed the drugs. "Just we, man." But the cold tub slipped out. They burned wood for heat. No propane. Brought coals inside. The detective's eyes sharpened. Carbon monoxide. It fit like a noose. The stiffness, the flop, the death. Thaddeus wasn't a villain, just a witness to wreckage he couldn't unsee. Hours blurred into a grim vigil. Music and Matthew, released but homeless, wandered the streets, ghosts of parents adrift. Isaiah recovered in a sterile room, his drawings of happier days clutched like talismans. But Zakylinn? Her absence echoed, a tiny footprint in the sand, erased by fumes no one smelled coming. In the end, the clues piled like accusations. Meth-laced recklessness, a home of hazards, love diluted by survival's grind. Prosecutors circled, charging neglect, manslaughter, killers not a malice, but myopia. Music's voice haunts the tapes. I've never felt anything like that. All floppy like we were cursed. But curses aren't supernatural. They're choices, unchecked, in the dark. Zakylinn's story isn't just a crime, it's a mirror. How many of us flirt with the invisible edges? A faulty heater, a skipped meal, a high that blinds us to the little ones at our feet? She deserved balloons and bedtime stories, not ashes and ambulances. And as the trial looms, one question lingers, suspenseful as a held breath. In a world this fragile, how do we keep the monsters out? Or worse, how do we stop becoming them?